to this episode of Giving Your Dog Its Best Life. I'm Janine Smith, canine educator. We all love our fur babies and want to make the most of our years together. Join me as we discuss all sorts of ways to give your dog its best life. We'll cover a bunch of topics: health, training, challenges at different developmental stages, from puppyhood to crossing the Rainbow Bridge, and maybe just a little bit of storytelling centered in how deeply we love these amazing canines. If you enjoyed this podcast, please like and subscribe. I would love to hear from you in the comments or via email at janine@edupups.com. I'd love to hear topics you feel are important to your life with your pup. Together, we can speak, live, and love dog as we give your dog its best life. Hello. So, what do you think? Is it kind of strange that one family has 4 therapy dogs? Why would anybody need 4 therapy dogs? Well, I have to tell you, it's pretty amazing to have 4 of them, because therapy dogs are trained to give their love and affection to everyone. So I know wherever I go with my 4 Goldens, the odds are very good that this is going to be a great encounter, whether they're meeting small little kids or adults who have walkers or adults who are very elderly. What is a therapy dog? A therapy dog has to undergo training so that they have very strong obedience skills, but also they have to have a specific type of temperament, like I talked about, that is very comfortable and happy with meeting strangers, all different kinds of strangers, no matter what they look like, and giving their love and affection to the world. Many therapy dogs are stereotypically thought of as mine, golden retrievers or Labrador retrievers. But therapy dogs can be any breed, any mixed breed at all. It really depends more on their temperament and their maturity level. Jazz, one of my current therapy dogs, became a therapy dog with Therapy Dog International, which was the very first company group that had therapy dogs. She became a therapy dog at 13 months. That is unheard of, very, very young. Retrievers typically are 4 years and older because they need a little bit more maturity to be comfortable in this role. But again, all therapy dogs certainly do not have to be a lab or a golden. They can be anything. And sometimes the smaller dogs are just so perfect because a person can hold the dog in their lap. Therapy dogs are very different in their purpose than emotional support dogs or service dogs. Those dogs undergo training which is specific to the needs of one person. So how did I even get involved in therapy dogs? Well, the story is pretty funny. I was a teacher for many years, and I many times taught science and had rats in my classroom. Rats were not only wonderful to teach about life, but also about helping kids understand that they might have biases or stereotypes, which can be proven incorrect if you just get to know something. And they found that rats were not these filthy, dirty animals filled with diseases, but were affectionate, clean, and really smart. So I went to my new principal, Ann Connolly, and I asked her, I said, Ann, how would you feel about me having a couple rats in my classroom? Her eyes grew wide and she said, no, 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 no. But you could have a therapy dog. In my former school, there was a golden retriever named Sunny, and it was a fantastic experience. So I began to research therapy dogs. I looked to see what I could do to get my current, at that time, 2 Goldens, Micah and Sadie, certified as therapy dogs. They did pass their test and began to work in my school. It was a wonderful experience for the kids and for the dogs. The kids would especially need the dogs on test days, but they would read to the dogs. They would write stories about the dogs. It was just great to have that presence in my room. And then we would go and visit other classrooms. Children would read to them as well. There's a lot of research which shows that reading to a therapy dog increases literacy. And I've definitely seen that in schools and in libraries where a child has come for a variety of months and you see the child go from someone stumbling over words to reading and really just enjoying the experience reading to the dog. Unfortunately, Micah and Sadie only lived to be 6, and there are many golden retrievers who unfortunately do carry a genome for cancer. They both had abdominal lymphoma and died within 3 weeks of each other, which was devastating, not only to me, but to my school and to all the kids. It inspired me to really look at what could I do to help dogs lead their very best life. Is there anything that I could have done differently? One thing I certainly looked very closely at was nutrition. Not only what I fed my dogs as their food, but also whatever I fed them as treats. I didn't want to give them junk food. I didn't want to give them things that had preservatives or things that could stick in their body and cause problems later on. I give my dogs Darford food treats. Darford treats, which come out of British Columbia. They are all natural. Many of them are organic, low calorie, all ingredients that make lots of sense, no preservatives, additives, dyes, anything that I wouldn't want in my dogs. They have many, many kinds of treats, and so far my dogs absolutely flip over them. You'll see them eating some of those treats a little later in the video when you get to see all 4 of my Goldens. As I said, Jazz is my oldest therapy dog. She has been working now for 9 years as a therapy dog. She's dually certified for Therapy Dogs International and Paws for Healing. The other 3 are all certified in a regional group, which is Paws for Healing. They all work in our library in their Paws for Reading program, where students come and read to the dogs. Now, the dogs love this. I mean, I wouldn't do it if it weren't a positive for the dogs. They love the pets, they love the affection from the kids, but of course, they also really are into the treats. They like that as well. So why do I have 4 therapy dogs? Well, it gives me 4 ways to share their love, their tail wags with the world. It's just wonderful. It's wonderful to see elderly people who in the nursing homes come alive when they pet the dog and talk about their former dogs, or you see little toddlers who are afraid of dogs and they learn that these dogs are friendly and kind and this is how you approach a dog. You don't ever just run up to a dog, but we kind of help the child also learn the appropriate way to meet a dog. And everyone in between. I mean, the smiles of kids in the hospitals, all of that. It just feels so good to know that I'm able to share these 4 amazing dogs with the world. And that's what these dogs were put on earth for. So they love it as well. If you would like information of how to have your dog become a therapy dog, please ask in the comments below. I'm happy to answer that. Well, now you know why I have 4 therapy dogs, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Giving Your Dog Its Best Life. If you enjoyed this podcast, please like and subscribe down below. I welcome your comments here or at Janine@edupups.com. Together, we can speak, live, and love dog as we give your dog its best life.